Welcome, everyone, and thank you so much for attending our webinar today on uh, some tips for finding internships and jobs in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. My name is Rhonda Gifford with the Penn West Career Center, and with us today we have Tanya Frank and Shauna Balog, who are both enterprise recruiters with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Shauna is also a CalU alum. So welcome to both of you, and thank you so much for doing this webinar for us today. Go ahead and take it away.
All right. Thanks, Rhonda. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tanya Frank, and I am an enterprise recruiter with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And I've been with the Commonwealth now for almost 14 years, and I've been a recruiter for about 2. And I cover the Northwest region of Pennsylvania. So that would probably be mostly toward the Penn West Edinburgh area, and then Penn West Clarion as well. And I'm going to turn this over now to my colleague, Shauna, and she's going to introduce herself and take you through the beginning of our presentation.
Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Shauna Balog. I'm an enterprise recruiter. My territory would be Fayette, Washington, Westmoreland, Somerset, and Greene County. I was actually an employee of Penn West, California for about 12 or 13 years, and then I decided to explore other career options, and now I joined the enterprise recruitment team to help students like yourself, as well as other job seekers, find and meet their career path. So I'm here to help with any questions. Tanya, if you have any questions for either of us, you can always post them in the chat. We're going to begin with our slides, and I'm going to give you a brief overview of what exactly working for the Commonwealth details, as well as what we offer. So we are the second largest employer in the state of PA. So we have well over 70,000 employees all across the state. So some of you joining us today, you may be from California, PA, and then you have Edinburgh and Clarion, but you may also live elsewhere but reside on these campuses. And here you'll be able to explore areas all over the Commonwealth. So just because we are dedicated to assisting residents of these areas, we also have colleagues all across the state that can assist you to find jobs if you want to relocate or something closer to home. So with your degrees, they're very transferable into all of the careers in the Commonwealth. And here are just a few topics we want to explore. So as I said, 76,000 employees statewide. We have 30 agencies. And your degree will help you gain the knowledge you need for any of these career paths. However, your experience plays a key factor as well. And we want to make sure you're exploring internships within the Commonwealth as well as the private sector, because when you are doing that, you're gaining experience on top of your degree, and so many employers need that experience. So here within the Commonwealth, we offer internships across the state, and we're going to go over and we're going to visit our main webpage, and we will cover the topics on our internship page. Does anybody have any questions for us so far? So as I said, Commonwealth state jobs, if you're interested, we have social work, there's psychology, career paths, we have Department of Environmental Protection. I know just a couple weeks ago, I sent Rhonda a posting right in our neighborhood of California, PA with the Department of Environmental Protection. So there are opportunities all across the state. So Tanya, I'm ready for the internship page. So this is where you would go to explore Commonwealth internships and apprenticeships. So agencies will post their internship opportunities to this page, and there's ways you could filter down to what you plan to do with your career path, and that's through our filter tool. So under the filter tool, you could filter by location, department, job category, or you could just browse all the internships, because we know many degrees are transferable into many careers. Like, you just don't have one career path with your degree, you have many career options. So when you're looking at our internship page, you can see here the location, you'll see the county, whether it's Montgomery County or Armstrong County, but then you also notice telework. Now, this is where a student can work remotely from their home and gain that experience and knowledge to put on their resume to just add all of those essentials and that knowledge to your next career path. So let's look at the audit intern here, Tanya. So when you're looking at a posting, some positions will be paid and some of those will be unpaid. So the salary for this particular position is $16.86 per hour. And they are going to fill multiple positions from this one posting. And this is actually for the Auditor General's office. So as you're reading through the posting, you will see the description of work, what they're looking for, the details of the job. And then you'll also see what you need to do to apply for the position. So when you are looking at the minimum experience and training requirements, that is something you must meet in all postings. So you must meet this, whether it's for an internship or a general job posting, you will need to meet that minimum experience. Another area you want to make sure of is you want to look at the residency requirement. Because we know we work with many out-of-state students, some opportunities through the Commonwealth offer residency flexibility. Others, you have to be a Commonwealth, you have to be a resident of Pennsylvania to explore that option. And then you want to see how you apply. So many of you are familiar with traditional applications for the job. So you go to a website, you apply via the web, or you attach your resume, submit a cover letter. However, the Commonwealth is a little bit different. So this is a prime example where they want a resume. So this particular agency wants you to attach a resume. They want to attach a copy of your unofficial transcript to the application. If you do not do that, if you don't do that step, you won't be eligible for the posting. So it's very important that you read each posting to see what is required, because most positions you get a score. And when you get that score, that determines your eligibility. So if you don't answer a question completely, if you don't upload documents to support what you're claiming on your application, then you could not receive as good of a score as you want, or you may not be qualified for the position. You want to make sure after you check all that, then there's questions attached to each posting. And those questions, sometimes you get a little bit more and sometimes you get a little bit less. So right here, there are a few questions, 4 basic questions that they want you to explain, like what degree are you pursuing, what's your highest level of college, and then there's 2 other questions about have you attached your resume and transcript there. Another position I want to go over does not require that resume. And that's why it's very important that you read the directions when you're completing a Commonwealth job posting, because whenever you go to log in and create a profile, the very first question will prompt you, do you want to upload your resume? By all means, upload your resume. The position that does not require the resume attachment is not going to be used for reflection to see if you have the experiences. So you want to make sure you answer all the questions. So here's an opportunity with corrections in Erie County. So our Edinburgh students, this may be an opportunity for you to look into. It is a paid opportunity with the Department of Corrections. And when you're looking at their requirements for qualifying for the job, you must be 18 years of age or older and enrolled full-time in a post-secondary education program for next semester. Now, some of these postings will require a GPA status, which may be a 2.0 or higher, like this one states, or the last one had 2.5 or higher. So once again, you want to make sure you're meeting the expectations of the posting. And then additional requirements, you must be full-time with 12 credits and 9 in graduate school. You must be 18, you must be in good academic standing, and you must submit a letter of recommendation from your advisor within your college. So that's very important for students to read that complete listing, because now you have to do extra steps to qualify. So, and another important thing when you're considering Commonwealth employment, you want to make sure to check your email. That's very important. And as you're graduating from your institutions, keep in mind that some colleges do not allow for that email to follow you. So when you're utilizing an email to apply for jobs, you want to make sure that email is going to be accessible even upon graduation in years to come for employment.
Tanya and Shauna, just to let you know, one of the questions was a student looking for an internship by summer, and I encouraged him to apply as soon as possible because it can take a bit, but now is a great time to start applying for summer internships if they're posted. But is there anything else you'd like to add to that response?
I would say, like, and Tanya could probably speak better to this. So I've been with the Commonwealth since February. She's been with the Commonwealth and more time than I have, but internships are going to start posting more and more from December into January. So the website needs constantly viewed for updates, and apply to all the jobs that interest you. It never hurts to apply for a position or an internship that interests you, because that's just an opportunity for you. Then you would decide if you wanted to take that opportunity further after the interview and after the offer. So now is the best time. You have to watch, and Tanya will go over this, the closing date on these postings.
All right, this is the landing page when you get onto our website, employment.pa.gov. And don't worry about writing all this down. Once we are finished with this, everyone who is signed in to the session, we will have a follow-up email that's going to have links to all of these sites that we're talking about today. But if you're on here and you're looking for a position, you're going to come to the open positions, and you're going to see there's quite a few options on this next page. And we will get back to the ones that are open to the public, but there are some other areas here that I did want to point out very quickly. We do have a Commonwealth Careers page. This page is going to give you lists of job families by occupational group. So if you have a particular area of interest, you can go in there and you can research all of the job titles underneath those occupations. We do have a listing of the job and career fairs that the enterprise recruitment team will be attending. So if you're ever interested in trying to stop by and see us at a career fair, you can check that schedule. But one point here that is very important is job alerts. And as Sean had mentioned, we are going to be posting a good portion of our internships in December and January, which I know is Christmas break for a lot of you. And not everybody wants to be logging in every day to see if there was something new posted. Well, by subscribing to job alerts, you will get a notification automatically whenever a position is posted in your area of interest. And one of those options being internship. So perhaps you are a criminal justice major, so you're interested in law enforcement, and perhaps, some other areas here that, probation, that type of thing. Select whatever categories you're interested in. You click on subscribe, first name, last name, and your email address. Click submit, and then you will be getting those notifications whenever positions are posted in those categories. Pretty simple, easy step in the process, but again, always something that you'd like to sign up for, simply because you don't want to have to check every day, especially if you're on Christmas break. But going back to the open jobs page, when you are searching for a position, you're going to click on the ones that are open to the public. Positions open to the public are obviously just that. We do also have a link there to the internships, as well as internal postings that are for current Commonwealth employees. When you get to the main page here, you are going to see a list, and it looks pretty much exactly like the internship page. You can go through in your filters and you can sort these. And today you can see right now we have over 800 jobs posted, and that's across the entire Commonwealth. New positions are posted every day, so there's always something changing on there. When you're going down through and you're looking for positions, certainly you take a look at your locations. You can filter again on all of these different areas. Locations, They're categorized by county, but I would also encourage you to look at ones that are under home headquartered, statewide, and we also have an option for multi-county. Those obviously could be anywhere in the state. Some of those may be full-time telework. Others are simply informational postings, but you do want to always check those in addition to any counties that you may be interested in. Other areas, you can sort by the various departments throughout the Commonwealth, and you can also filter this down into a job category as well. And if these job categories align with what you would have selected on your job alerts. So what we're going to do is I'm going to jump over because I already found, did a search here earlier. And in this particular case, we went through and we were looking for positions that are statewide, and I picked Greene and Somerset County under the Department of Corrections. So if you look here, we have several postings for Psychological Services Associate. And if you want more information, you can click on this. You get a nice little bump out here so you can take a look at the position. You're always going to find your salary details here. That is your entry-level salary there into that position. More information regarding the location, a work site address if it's applicable, as well as an opening date, and most importantly, a closing date for this posting. These positions always have a closing date on them, and you have to submit your complete application just before midnight on that closing date. Once that closing date passes, this position will disappear from the website and you will not be able to apply to it. But you go down through, you can review the position itself. You have a description of work. Most postings, if you have an interest in further details, you can click on a position description, and it is going to go into additional detail about the job duties assigned for that particular position. You're also going to get information about your work schedule, work hours. This particular position with the Department of Corrections is actually eligible for full retirement benefits at age 50 or 55. Now, if you are interested in this position, you are going to go down and you're going to be looking at those minimum experience and training requirements. This particular position, though, it emphasizes that you have to have passed an online examination and received a score before you can apply to it. And if you go up here to check the questions, if you were to just click on apply to this is the only thing it's asking. Have you taken the exam and do you have your score? Because if you answer no to this, it's going to tell you that you cannot apply. Conveniently, it's given us a link to the online exam. If you click on that, again, it's going to give you some very basic information here. You're going to go down through and review the details of this position. And here it is going to give you what you would be expecting for minimum experience and training. In this particular case, you need a master's degree in psychology or a closely related field. It's going to reemphasize that you cannot submit a resume or a cover letter in order to be used as part of your score or to determine if you are eligible for the position. We're going to say that we're interested in this particular position, so we're going to click on apply. Now, in this particular case, I've already set up an account for this particular position. However, if you were to click apply on any of these others, you also get the option to create an account if you haven't already set one up. And when you create an account, it's pretty simple. You're going to put in your email address, select a username and password, click create, and then you are going to get a link in your email to confirm that email address. Once you've done that, then you can move forward with your application. As Sean had mentioned, when you are putting together or putting an account together, you do want to make sure that you have access to that account So if you are reaching the end of your school, it would be best to set up your own personal email account. And I would recommend that you do that for just for your work search, separate from your personal email. I know when you first start your work searches, you get signed up on a lot of websites and you will get inundated with email. If you have a separate account dedicated to your career and to your work search, it just makes life a little bit easier for you in the long run. And you always want to make sure that whatever email address you set up, it is a professional reflection of you. You want to kind of stay away from anything that could be controversial when you're creating that email address. So once you've got the account created and you are back in to apply, you're going to go to sign in. And it will start off clear at the top where you're going to put in basic contact information, your work history, education, any additional information that you might want to offer. If you have any kind of certifications and licenses, you can add those here. Special skills. If you have another language that you speak or any other type of supplemental information you want to offer for the application, you can include that in here in this area. You also have a place for references. At this point, if you're getting ready to move into your career, you certainly want to start acquiring your references and make sure that you've always updated those references and let them know that they may be contacted since you are applying to a position and using them for a reference. There will also be a section where you can add supplemental attachments. This is where you would upload a copy of your transcript if it's required, and any other documents such as letters of recommendation, that type of thing. But then you get down into the questions for this particular position. And this is similar to what you're going to see on most postings. The first questions are going to be dedicated to determining if you meet that minimum experience and training requirement. So you go down through and you can answer those questions. And you can see it's a little upset here because I've left these blank, but for our purposes, I didn't want to take too much time filling all that out. But then you're going to get further down into this and you're going to see supplemental questions. This is when you get into pretty much what is considered the exam portion of the application. And generally it is going to give you a particular work behavior associated with the position. It's going to give you a description, and then you will be required to rate your level of performance with regard to this particular work behavior. And you can see you get several options here, and you want to be very careful about which level you select here, because you have to have supporting work history and documentation to support whatever level you've selected here. Now you want to make sure that you're selecting as high as you can support, because if you were to select the lower you select on this, that reduces your score here. So if you have the ability to select the first and you have documentation to support all of those criteria, that would be your best bet here. However, if you select the highest one and maybe you don't have all but just some of the experience and training to support it, they will not downgrade your answer. They will simply give you a 0 here. So you want to make sure that you are always selecting what is, the minimum that you can prove when it comes to your training and work history. So once you've selected that level of performance, then the next area, you are going to describe your experience as it relates to what level you have selected here for this work behavior. All of the answers, you're going to have text fields here, and you're going to put in the name of the employer where you gained this particular experience, those duties, and your level of responsibility. It is critical that whatever employment you list here, you have to make sure that that appears here in your work experience. And when you put in any kind of work experience, put in as much detail as you can possibly come up with. I'm sure you've heard when it comes to a resume, you want to be brief, you want to make sure that you condense everything. It's pretty much just the opposite when it comes to filling out an application with the state. You want to make sure that you are putting in absolutely as much detail for everything that you did in that position. The same thing goes with your answers to these questions. This is pretty much considered an essay exam. So you don't have any limit on how much information you can put in here, but if you have multiple employers, you want to make sure that you're going to space this out and do it in a way so that it's easily evaluated when the time comes for them to score your exam. A lot of tips that I give to my clients, sometimes it's best if you take all of this and copy and paste it into a Word document. That way you can put together all of your answers and everything, and then turn around and copy and paste it back here into the application. The second area that you're going to have is where you are going to detail any type of coursework that you have taken with regard to that that particular work behavior. You're going to want to make sure that you've got a good summary. You have the course title, the number of credits, and a lot of times it's like something you might get out of the class syllabus, or even in the college description of that particular course. That might be good information to include in here to give a little more explanation about what that particular course covered. And you always want to make sure that that course is showing on your transcript, and you will need to upload that transcript. So you would go down through, you're going to complete all of these questions. And then once you're done, you will review everything on your application. Then you will certify it. And once you get down to that point, it will give you the option, which will change here, obviously, to submit your application. You want to make sure you have everything attached and all of your questions are complete before you click submit. Once it is submitted, you cannot add anything to it and you cannot change anything. Now, just as an example, say that you're done, you get interrupted, you have to go to class. So you don't have time to finish your application. It's going to ask you, you want to leave it? And you can say yes. So did you just lose all the work you put in there? No. The next time you come in, you log into your account, you click on this, and you have the option for applications. You're going to have a list here of all of the positions that you have applied to. And then you also have a list of incomplete applications. So you can click on this, you can go back in, finish this so you don't lose all of the work that you already put in there, and submit it at that time. However, keep in mind that you still have to submit this application before the closing date on the posting.
We do have a question. So I was answering some of these in the chat box. I sent a couple of you direct messages in regards to your questions. For international students applying to Commonwealth jobs, can we provide a little bit of detail? Because most of our jobs require a residency of Pennsylvania. So can you go into a little bit of detail there?
When it comes to people who are not U.S. citizens, you have to be authorized to work in the United States. And I can tell you a question that I get very often. The Commonwealth cannot sponsor you. So you do have to meet requirements to work here in the United States. A lot of these other positions, when you get into them, you're going to look, and Sean had touched on your residency requirements. I know there may be some of you here today that are out of state. However, the positions there, when it comes to residency requirement, since you are currently enrolled in a college program that is based here in Pennsylvania, you do meet our residency requirements at this point. Once you have completed school, if you do move back home, you would have to establish residency. And we do have information on the website about the residency requirement, and it will go into quite a bit of detail when it comes to how you can establish your residency for the positions. Some positions, they may waive the PA residency requirement, and If they do, it would be explained in the body of the posting. It's something that you're just going to want to make sure that you go through and review, for each particular position.
I answered a good bit. So I put a link in the chat, and that will take you, we didn't touch on it because of the time frame here, but it's a link to Commonwealth Careers. And what Commonwealth Careers will give you, it gives a list of all vacancies within the Commonwealth. And then if there is a vacancy, you'll see a little number 1 at the end or a 2 at the end when you're looking for jobs. So as you're exploring your options, if you don't see a position posted, you can at least see that the opportunity is there for you. So Tanya's sharing her screen now. And if you look at the bottom, the air quality engineering trainee. So there's positions available. And then when you click the link, the little number, it will take you to those postings. That's an awesome source to utilize, a resource to utilize during your job search, because you want to make sure you're exploring all the options. And then it also lists the county that it's offered. Now, some of the positions are county based. So that's another thing you need to look for in your job posting. Some positions will say you must reside in a particular county to qualify for the job. Some give you flexibility. So that's another thing you need to review based on the posting, and that will change each time a position is posted based on the agency demand and their needs to filling that position. Did we have, Rhonda, did we have any other questions? I did try to answer.
No, I think you answered both. There were 2 students who asked about international student status. One was specifically, for electrical engineering types of roles, but I think you touched on both of those.
And they will, I know our local PennDOTs sometimes offer those electrical engineering positions. Make sure, students, you're checking Handshake as well, because any position that comes up in our area, like if you're local to our counties, they're going to be posted on Handshake if they require education. So that Handshake is a great feature to utilize in your job search. And then as far as, I think we had another question about parks and the parks throughout the state. At this time, there may not be any internships posted, but like we said, in the coming weeks, many agencies are going to start to look to fill those internship positions within all agencies. So definitely keep checking.
Donna, I saw you had a comment suggesting that someone sign up for the alerts. Did you cover how they can do that?
Yes, Tanya, you went over that, correct?
Correct. When you first get on here, you go to open jobs and you scroll down and the subscribe to job alerts. You click on that, select the categories that you are interested in receiving alerts for. Internships is one of the options. And then say maybe you are interested in engineering. Then you would just simply click subscribe. Put your name, your address in there, click submit, and you will start getting notifications whenever positions are posted with either of those categories.
One additional international student related question. What if you have your social security number, but not citizenship?
You do have to be authorized to work in this, in the United States. I would recommend you can go through, you can review the residency requirements here. If you have foreign education credentials that you would like to offer, you would review that section and comply with that. And then we do have some frequently asked questions in here when it comes to a lot of these particular topics. And I know when it comes to, like I said, our foreign students, they said they have to be authorized to work in the United States. So if they have, their working documents, then they should be eligible for the Commonwealth employment. But again, the Commonwealth cannot sponsor someone. for residency or for the positions.
Thank you, Tanya. One other question is, if students would like to get their master's degree while they're working for the Commonwealth, are there ways to do that?
It depends a lot of times on the particular position that you're going into, but many times there are options for tuition assistance. Through most of the times, it's probably with an agreement with the union to assist you with paying for the education. But one of the benefits when it comes to Commonwealth employment is that pretty much all of the positions that you're seeing here today are considered public service. So that does make you eligible for the federal public student loan forgiveness program. So that is something else that can assist you with repaying any student loans you might have incurred for your education. Information on that, as well as all of our other benefits, you can get from that main page. And you can go through here and it will give you other information as far as career development, training that's available to you, that type of thing.
Another thing, working for the Commonwealth, you're eligible for student loan forgiveness. So that's an option for students as well. We know we all have our student loan debt that we'll have to fulfill once we graduate, and that's an opportunity for you to explore. And that's just submitting an application, and because you're working for the state of Pennsylvania, you could possibly qualify for that forgiveness.
So there is more information on the website about all of the benefit packages. Couple of points I would like to make. One of the truly wonderful benefits of working for the Commonwealth is that you have flexibility when it comes to your career. For many of the positions, you may start out with an agency, like say you start with the Department of Corrections, as a psychological services aide or associate. And maybe you see that there's an opening with the Department of Human Services at one of the state hospitals, and you decide to bid on that and you transfer. When you transfer from one agency to another within the state, you still take with you all of your accumulated vacation time, sick time, your benefit package, your seniority, all that goes with you from one agency to another. And even if you decide to stay in the same position and maybe you want to move from, say Erie, and you find something, you decide you want to relocate to Harrisburg or to Philadelphia. Again, you can transfer, and all of those benefits are going to go with you. So you can actually transfer multiple times throughout your career, and you don't have to start over again with having no vacation and you having to wait for your benefits to start up again. That benefit right there will give you a whole lot of flexibility when it comes to your career with the Commonwealth.
Tanya and Shauna, there's one thing I wanted to show, just as you've been sharing these sites, and it is so helpful. Thank you so much. If you wouldn't mind, I'd love to share my screen and show the differences in the results I found for a student who was asking about forensics.
Sure,
And I loved that you shared this page. Are you seeing the Commonwealth careers page?
Yes.
So when I went in this page and clicked on additional search options and put in the keyword forensic, it came up with so much more than when I typed forensics in this page. So I thought that was so interesting, and it might be helpful for students to know. This page, the keyword search, really came up with a lot more results.
Well, the reason why the first page you were exploring, that's only open positions. The other page you're looking at is a basic job search of every opportunity available in the Commonwealth. But if you look to the right of your screen, the only thing that is open would be towards the bottom, and you'll see the numbers at the end. If you don't see a number, there's not an opportunity with that. Now, I did send a link to the student that asked about this, and I did
Yes.
incorporate all the forensic in the title. So if he clicks on the link, he can reflect and see what opportunities are available there.
That is so helpful. I thought this is interesting just for people to see what is the area or the agency where positions might be available, the job family, the job title. So thank you for sharing. This was something that was interesting to me.
Right. And Rhonda, if you click on it, the job title when you're on that page, it will take you to a position description for that particular job title. And
Okay.
it's going to give you an overview, a very broad overview of all the possible duties that that position would be responsible for. And then when you get clear to the bottom, it's going to start giving you that minimum experience and training. So
Okay.
if someone were interested in a particular position, even if there isn't a job posting up for it right now, they can look and they can see if that is something that they're currently qualified for, or perhaps, when they're making decisions about the possibility of adding, another level to their education, maybe with a more advanced degree, that can give them a very good indicator of what would be their best path.
That is so helpful for anyone who is early in their education career to kind of get the heads up on what are the requirements, what could they be doing now. Thank you so much. Great tips.
So as Tanya said, we're going to send everybody an email sometime this afternoon. And if you want to reach out to us directly, if you have any questions about the application process, we would be happy to help. Tanya, you have anything else you want to include?
No, I don't have anything other than to say thank you very much, Wanda, for having us, and for all of you for joining us. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. You will have contact information for us, and we'd be happy to help you with whether it's an internship or if you're looking for a more permanent position.
Tanya and Shauna, thank you so much for doing this workshop today. So helpful, and for sending out some of these links after the workshop to our students. We appreciate your time. And students, thank you so much for attending. Don't forget, if you're a current Penn West student or a graduate, we have a great website, pennwest.edu/careers. Or actually, I'm so sorry, career.pennwest.edu. It changed with our integration. So please check out that site for some helpful information about resumes and interviewing, and to connect with your career coach as well. Every student has a career coach here at Penn West. So please take advantage by meeting with that person for help. But Tanya, Shauna, thank you again. We really appreciate your time.
All right, thank you, and everyone have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.